Coach Kim Mulkey with her 750th win. Unbelievable. An 862 win percentage. Coach, what's going on? How we doing here on this Tuesday? As always, thank you so much for joining us during such a busy time as we are closing in on the end of the season. Massive games still left to go. Thank you, Coach. How are we doing today?
T-Bob, I woke up, I put my foot on the floor, and I said, God, I lived another day. Let me get up and open the curtains and enjoy it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And well, a lot of reasons to be excited as on Sunday, your team hits the road and goes to Lexington. Really tough environment against a top 20 Kentucky team, top 15 Kentucky team, a very good team. And, well, it was tough out the gates. Down as much as 16 in the first half, 12 at halftime, but an absolutely sizzling, dominant third quarter, Coach, in which you outscore the Wildcats 24-6. Take us into, because, you know, it's weird, right? Halftime adjustments, halftime speeches, all this stuff. Sometimes you make too much of it, sometimes too little. Like, what happened from that second to third quarter that created that such a stark contrast?
You know, it's so cute. It's really funny and comical sometimes because people have this perception because I'm so intense and because they see me on the sideline getting after it that I go in and give this just crazy chewing of ass out in the locker room. And sometimes that does happen. As y'all know, it's needed, but sometimes you don't need to say anything. I was not feeling good. In fact, I'm still trying to get over something respiratory. So I didn't have much energy to begin with, and I was very appreciative of the effort that Coach Bob and my coaches put in to help me through the course of the game when I needed a little lift. And I went in at halftime and made two suggestions that we needed to do, and I literally wrote two words on the board, and I said a couple things to a couple of players, and that was it. The things I wrote on the board were rebounding and defense. When you miss shots, when you're lethargic, when you just can't get it going, those two things will always keep you in a game and get you back in a game. If you will do that better, you stand a chance to win this ball game. And then I said, I need you to start in our one defense on every make and every miss. That's full court man-to-man pressure. And then I need, when Amore gets rid of the ball, I need Shy, you as our point guard, don't let her get it back. And those were the adjustments that were made.
Wow.
Coach, I can remember going back like a couple of years, and Michaela Williams was somebody that you had just got to sign with you at a Parkway High School. And I remember you talking about the player that she could be. And last year, a young basketball player, you could certainly see it, still a young basketball player, but it feels like she is taking those steps to be not only one of the better players in the country, you know, a superstar type player. What have you seen from her? What's it been like kind of watching her grow into this role and being this leader and puts up 24 points the other night?
Well, I think the first thing I would say is Michaela Williams is very unselfish. Let's talk about that. She signs to come to LSU when we have Flau'jae and Angel and Morrow. And a lot of these young players, particularly in her class, went to places where they could be the superstar and take all the shots and average their, you know. Michaela wants to win. Michaela loves her state like I do. And her family could see her play. So for her to come to LSU and for us to get her was a big for us. And you knew the talent was there. And she is fit in beautifully in that she knows Flau'jae is going to get her shots. She knows Morrow is going to get her shots and rebounds. But I'm going to get enough myself. And I think sometimes people forget that she's only a freshman last year. She's only a sophomore. And so I think as you're watching her grow, and her growth is on both ends of the floor. Her growth is being a better defender, and her growth on the offensive end is being that unselfish player and plays any position I put her at. If I get the ball in her hands because I want to do a quick hitter for her at the point, okay. If I need her to go small ball and put her down there with Mara, okay, Coach. She's really the only player that can do that for us.
Well, and something else that you did on Sunday was as you enter the locker room, red leather jacket on, very excited about the big win. All of a sudden, you find yourself doused with multiple bottles of water. Did you think that your team was just very excited about beating Kentucky?
Well, honestly, Simone Augustus was ahead of me. And I saw Simone step in and just step back out, and then she kind of put her arm around me and kind of led me in. And I got in there, and I thought, are you really this excited over a win at Kentucky? I get it, it's Kentucky. I get they're the blue bloods of basketball, but I didn't say anything because I thought, well, bless their hearts, they're real excited about the comeback. And so I just let them tear that leather jacket up that I wore, and no big deal. I congratulated them. I said, the plane is delayed. We take our time. There are tons of people up in the lobby, LSU people and Kentucky people that want autographs, which I've told y'all it happens everywhere we go.
Y'all are the superstars.
Take your time and let's go up there. And then we huddle and we're holding hands to say the Lord's Prayer. And just as we were getting ready to say it, Jersey is across from me, and it might have been KG, I don't know, and I see just these shirts they have on, and it had my signature underneath it. And so I'm kind of looking at it, and I just stopped, and I said, whoa, wait a minute, before we start. I said, so this is why God doused me with water. 750 wind. Oh, okay. And that was how I learned about it. Not one person said anything to me. I didn't understand.
Oh, man. So I didn't realize when you were texting about this, I didn't realize that the gap was that large. I thought it was instant. So you were already planning, thinking about some other things, and then you finally realized as you've been here soaking wet that it's your set. Okay, so what went through your head? Well, it was in a moment of reflection. What went through your head when you realized, wow, you had achieved such an incredible number?
I didn't think anything about it other than it was an explanation in my head as to why they were dousing me with water. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, now that might be a little bit more significant than beating Kentucky. Okay, now I kind of get it. But none of them said anything. They just started spraying water, and I just thought, well, maybe I even thought this. Well, maybe that they're excited because they know we're going to get a double bye in the SEC tournament.
True.
But I thought, okay, but it just wasn't that. I couldn't understand it until I saw the shirt.
Well, it's amazing, though, Coach. I mean, congratulations. So you haven't taken any time to reflect on it then?
Lord, no, man. I couldn't even tell you my record.
Yeah.
I don't know all that stuff. They do different things through the years, but I forget all of it. No one's going to remember that. I'm not going to remember numbers. I remember championships, man. I can tell you details from losses.
That's what makes Coach, the best.
Coach, well, one thing you do know certainly, because you've won those championships, is this time of year.
Yeah. And
you've still got tough road games coming up in the regular season, but SEC tournament, as you said, double bye, and you've got the NCAA tournament coming down. Like, when do you, or do you even start to, kind of look at that and look at the brackets and look at maybe where you might end up being? Like, is that something you even look at, Coach, or is hey, we got to get through the regular season, and then we can talk about the postseason?
Well, I do, because we're down to the last two games. I do look at if we should be a 3 seed, who we potentially would play again in the SEC tournament. Well, I tried that. Well, guess what? I've realized this is why I don't do it. I couldn't tell you who it's going to be. If you go look at Kentucky and Tennessee and Alabama and Ole Miss, hell, Oklahoma's still in the mix. Yeah. I don't have a clue because they still all have to play each other, so it's too much to think about. And then you become one that's speculating on who's going to win. I don't want to do that. So
right.
Let's just finish it out and see who ends up winning the tiebreakers and who beat who in head-to-head match. I don't want to deal with all that.
Yeah.
So we've got to focus on Alabama, an Alabama team that's ranked in the top 20 is having an outstanding year. One of my dear friends, if I have any dear friends in this business, would be Christy Curry at Alabama. I just love her to death. She's an old Alla, Louisiana girl, and she is more twangy and country than I am.
Oh, hell yeah.
And played for her mother at LaSalle High School in North Louisiana, and we worked together for a while at Louisiana Tech. So she knows everything about my program. Her husband is one of her assistants, so they will be fired up. It'll probably be their largest crowd of the year, and we got our hands full.
Yeah, so that's going down Thursday night, 8 p.m. in Tuscaloosa. That's going to be a battle. Then you'll come back to the PMAC Sunday, 3 p.m. for a big-time game against Ole Miss. And then, and then we're into the postseason. And that's what we'll talk about next week. We can get into your thoughts on, like, SC tournament, NCAA tournament, and everything else and whatnot. But did want to take this time, Coach, say, congratulations on 750. It's an incredible achievement, whether you care or not. And a lot of people will remember it. And a lot of people will always remember championships that you've had, especially the one already, around these parts, obviously. So just a massive, massive congrats and a massive thank you for coming on the show each and every week.
And, Coach, I appreciate you saying you remember the losses as well. I'm still bitter about losses like 13 years ago, so I can appreciate that as well.
And, it's probably not healthy, but it's who you are because you think back like, golly, we win that game, we win another natty. We win that game, we get to another Final Four. What could I have done? And so you do, and it's not that you focus on negative. It's just your personality. You just think about the things like that in your career. Now, please know, I certainly know all the great things that have happened throughout my life. But it's just funny how you can't forget those losses.
Yep.
Well, I mean, again, these are likely the traits that make you one of the best to ever do it. Coach Kim Mulkey, legend of the game. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Guys, y'all be good. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do.